Hey guys, week 2 of Aotearoa season, and what a good week 1 was. That was some enjoyable rugby. This week, though, we have the Chiefs versus the Highlanders. The Chiefs, it's their first game of the season. They are a bit injury hit, so not the best of ways to start the season, but still, I think it's going to be a good game. The Chiefs, they didn't have the best of pre-seasons either. If we do look at their pre-season, they lost all of their games, according to me. And then the Highlanders, last week they got pretty close to the Crusaders, though the score does say they lost by 13 points. I do think they were closer than the score actually does say. Remember, before I go further into this game, to hit the subscribe button if you do want to see more preview videos, and then I'll get into the teams right now. The Chiefs, they have a couple of injuries. They have big names injured. Molly, Boshia, Soakula, Trask, Tupaya, and then also Tia, who moved over from the Hurricanes. So yeah, pretty big names that they are missing. But if you do look at that squad, it is a pretty good squad. Still, the Highlanders, they had a good squad last week. So they still shuffled a couple in the back line, but we'll get to that now. Getting to the front rows, we have O'Neill and Mafaleo as the props for the Chiefs. That's a strong propping combination, but they are up against Tokalai and Leonard Brown. So two pretty even combinations in my opinion. Who's going to get the upper hand? The Highlanders, they did struggle to get the upper hand in scrum time against the Crusaders. Yes, they are a good pack, the Highlanders, but the Crusaders, we just know what they can do with that experienced international props that they do have there. The hooker battle is also going to be a good one. Dixon, I thought, did pretty well last week. He's still not in that great form he was at the end of last year. Dixon and Regan, the Irish international, actually did pretty well. I thought they might lack a little bit against the Crusaders, but they did pretty well. They are up against the very young combination of the new All Black Vai and Akoi, so pretty good combination there. I think that's probably your future of All Black rugby right there in the Chiefs' second row. And let's see what they do against that Highlanders second row that actually impressed last week. Then there is a debutant for the Chiefs in Finau versus Frizzell. Frizzell, who played out of his skin again last week. Billy Harmon, he also played pretty hard last week, went into every hit like it's gonna be his last one. Versus Sam Cane, the co-captain this year for the Chiefs, not just the sole captain for the Chiefs this year. We'll see what he does again. Last year he put his body on the line as always. He'll probably do that again. Then Luke Jacobson moving to the back of the scrum, unfamiliar position for him. We'll see what he does in that position. Up against Makiele Tu'u, I thought he had a pretty slow game in my opinion last week, but he can still improve on that. In number 9, a strange call to rest Aaron Smith, the All Black legend. He's on the bench. Folau Fakatava is very good though. He's been in great form so far in the Mitre 10 Cup in the preseason as well. Last week against the Crusaders coming off the bench as well. He did pretty well. So I think it's about time this guy gets a start. If they don't give him a couple of starts, he's probably going to move on to another New Zealand team soon. Smith, his game is also going to be more managed now up until the next World Cup since signing the new contract with New Zealand Rugby. So they do say he's going to be benching a couple of more games. He's not going to start every game this season, just like last one. Brad Weber is the new co-captain for the Chiefs. He is very quick. You know what you have with him. Last year, I think he had a pretty slow year, in my opinion. He didn't have his best year. I was actually quite surprised that he got picked for the All Blacks. So if there is anyone that Fakatava would gun for in their All Black position in number 9, it is Weber. So I think this is going to be a massive game between these two. Bryn Gatland, he starts against his previous team. Last year he was slotting those drop goals for the Highlanders. Now it is for the Chiefs. And Josh Ioane, he is at number 10 over Hunt. Hunt moves to number 15. I didn't think Hunt did too badly at number 10, but when Josh Ioane came on last week, there was a different game on hand. He did take on the line a bit more, gave a little bit of grubbers through as well. You saw if he had a bit more time in that game, the game probably would have been a bit better for them. So it's good to have Josh Ioane back at number 10. Then at number 12, it is Tompkinson, the hard hitter, versus Leonard Brown, the hard runner. So I think there's going to be big clashes over there. If Tompkinson can just stay in a good discipline this season, he's going to have a good year. He's been in good form in the last 2 or so years, but every year he messes it up with a couple of yellow or red cards. Wainui, he moves to the number 13 position. I haven't seen him play there at all, but it makes sense. He's very quick. He does get a couple of offloads through as well. It's also like moving a guy like Rikiani from the wing to the number 13. Then Punivai at number 13, and on the wings it is Low making his debut for the Chiefs. Nanai Satoro, the hot stepper as well. He's going to be doing his thing. Nareki, also the hot stepper for the Highlanders. I do still criticize him. I know Highlanders fans, you might get tired of it, but he is never in his position when it comes to defense, and that did lead to a couple of tries last week for the Crusaders as well. But on attack, he does his thing every time. Gordon Bishop, he was quite surprising last week for the Highlanders. Didn't know that guy has so much speed. Then on number 15, Mitch Hunt, he is at number 15 this week. I would have probably started Alomalo to play a more running game. This might hint towards a couple of drop goals coming in, but also hints towards having a 2 playmaker game. Damien McKenzie is also at the back for the Chiefs, having a 2 playmaker game for them as well. So really fire with fire in this game, and it's going to be an interesting one. Damien McKenzie didn't have the best of seasons last year, but considering how the Chiefs played last year, he had a good season. So I think the Chiefs could only be better than they were last year. I expect big things from him this year around. On the bench, Bradley Slater, one of my favorite hookers in New Zealand, is on the bench. Liam Coltman is there as well. One of the big names in the props is Ta'avao, Mitchell Brown and Mitchell Karpik. Big names for the Chiefs to bring on. Squire did impressively coming off the bench for the Highlanders, but you know there is more for him to do there as well. On number 21, Aaron Smith, that is a lot of experience for the Highlanders to bring on as well. Like I said, Ale Malo, he is on the bench as well. He's not on 15 this week. We'll see what he does against his previous team. He moved to the Highlanders to get some time under Tony Brown. Nankivell at number 22, Stevenson at 23, and then Renton at 23 for the Highlanders. Guys, it's always difficult to call a first game for a team like the Chiefs. It's their first game of the season. The Highlanders, I thought, did pretty well against the Crusaders. A lot of times they were on the back foot, but they did manage to keep them out of their try line, so their defense have improved. For me, I think the Chiefs, if you do go on their preseason games that they did lose all of them, that's the only thing I have to go on. So I'd say the Highlanders to win this one by 3. Last season there was close ones between these two sides as well. So Highlanders to win it by 3. Let me know your prediction down in the comments below. Also, hit the subscribe button if you do like the channel. Watch these videos next to me, and then I'll see you for the next one. Cheers.